Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
A Tuesday edition of the program. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Colin Russo with you. No Mike Rizzo today on sabbatical on vacation. We got Christian Cat in the house. We're back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, where we got you covered next 2 hours right here on ESPN 106.3. Also streaming live. YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. You can tune in and see our pretty faces up over on those outlets. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Tuesday. The end of July is near. The MLB trade deadline is near. You get gambling probes on MLB players. Ryan Sandberg, unfortunately, passed away after a long battle with cancer. The longtime Chicago Cubs second baseman, one of the great second basemen in the history of Major League Baseball. A lot to talk about. We'll talk to Steve Politziner into the second hour. Looking forward to speaking with him. Christian Cat, our producer of today's program, had his debut of stand-up comedy yesterday over at Bob Carter's Actors Rep. He had a good time. He actually did well. I thought he'd do well, and he did well. Edgier than I thought he would go, but he towed the line, I think, properly. Theo Dorsey of Theoretically Speaking also did stand-up comedy because Christian and Theo both lost a bet against me and Mike Rizzo on our punchline picks during the NFL season, and because they lost, they had to do stand-up comedy. So congratulations, Christian, on your debut. Congratulations, Theo, on his debut on stand-up comedy. It was an improv set surrounding it, so we had a couple of professionals, improvs, come in on the beginning and come in on the tail and sort of surround the show, little gloss and glitter on either side. And then Christian and Theo made up the bulk of the meat in the middle. And my initial reaction is I've seen a number of stand-up routines. Stand-up routines, they're set. There's a tempo. There's an understanding of where we want to go. Sometimes you're trying to figure out. Sometimes you're trying to get a feel for a crowd. Sometimes it doesn't work. But at least you feel like there's a plan. Improv, I understand the idea is there's not a plan, but I think it's so obvious when, yes, there's a flow to it sometimes, but when there's no plan, there's no next step, the buying time, the procrastinating, the stalling is so obvious. So obvious. I'm not saying it's a knock. I mean, it's a tough gig. I couldn't go up there and do it. But I don't know if improv specifically is for me because does that make the comedy that much better? The fact that it's on the fly and it's made up on the spot? I mean, in my opinion, no. But I understand both sides. I understand both mediums are different mediums, but I would rather the scripted stand-up punchline, get to a point, tell a story. That does a little bit more for me comparatively to the improv. Is the improv read? Both of the duos we saw were clearly good at what they do in terms of thinking on the fly. Just for me, I feel like there's such a reliance on because what they do is they come out, they ask the audience a couple of questions. They clearly do a couple of routines to buy themselves some time as they formulate a plan internally. And they'll ask a question. Hey, what'd you guys do today? And one of our interns said, we went to a high school to give out a top 63 invite to a high school player. Because that's what we're doing. Because we got it August 9th at Kaiser University. We have our ESPN West Palm Top 63 event. And they're, okay, you went to a high school today. And then they immediately get into this routine about people waiting at a bus stop. And I didn't make a connection that they did this routine because of we went to a high school earlier today comment. That's since the improv. But that was apparently the reason. So they started going on and on at this bus stop. I had no idea what the hell was going on. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't know I don't know who was talking. I don't know who was who. They were there. And this is not a knock. Well, it's kind of a knock. I don't know where the heck, where we were. What are we talking about? I was a little confused by that because I realized once this goes haywire, you don't necessarily set a scene. Very hard to get a sense for what the hell is going on when you're listening to an improv show because where they take something from the crowd, they get 2 or 3 pieces of information that they have to build off of, and they choose one of them. And we start going on and on about this bus stop. What the hell is going on with the bus stop? Where are we? And one of them was talking, I don't know if they were talking about high schools. One was talking like like a child. And I wasn't following. I wasn't following at all. I wasn't overly impressed with that one. But that was just my initial impression. On the flip side, before we get to Christian's routine, on the ending, I thought there's a sense of storytelling that comes with experience because some people didn't like it in the office because all of our ESPN West Palm teammates were there. And these two, Kat Kenny and Billy Merritt, who came on the show yesterday, who are experienced, have done this for years, improv specifically. They did a routine at the end. And Billy and Kat clearly have a chemistry, but they let in with this routine. They asked for a song lyric. And the same intern who gave the high school point, gave another point saying, it's a good life as a song lyric, or it's a good life. I think that was it. And they had to make a story off of that. Granted, the story they made up has absolutely nothing to do with the song lyric. They just found the story. They probably had the plan of we're going to do this set and we're going to find a way to incorporate this song lyric. It's a good life. But they start doing this improv set, and I'm going to be honest, they were taking me for a ride. I was completely inundated with where this story was going as they were making it up on the fly. That's where I think improv can get its legs, is when there's a storytelling aspect to it. They had the audience on a string. If you weren't following along piece by piece, line by line, I don't know what you were paying attention to. The second duo really delivered in terms of delivering a story. Was it that funny? Not really. But there was a story that I was intrigued in. Because of that, I give them their credit. But I don't know if it would be my first choice medium in terms of a comedy set because of just how all over the place the first one was. They come out, they tell us to stretch, and we're stretching our arms and our elbows and all that stuff. I don't know what the hell we're doing. Where are we buying? This is buying time. It's obvious. Come on. Focus up. And on the flip side, on the end, even too, when they need to buy more time, they would repeat lines back to each other. And I understand that. You got to think on the fly. This is no easy gig. But I'm here to judge. I mean, this is the judgmental space, no? We're here to judge. We're here to grade. We're not here to just clap mindlessly. I'm here to see if this is any good. That was my initial first improv show I've ever went to. And I'm not going to say I was disappointed. I can't say I was expecting too much. But the improv style itself, I don't know if it's for me. I was impressed with the performers, but I wasn't impressed with the comedy aspect of it. That was my initial take. But Christian Cat comes in with a scripted, I would say, 15-minute set. Theo Dorsey follows him up probably with a 10-minute set. And we get 25 minutes of stand-up comedy that's internalized inside jokes coming after almost exclusively Mike Rizzo and myself. And it was a good time. And Christian, I give you credit for doing it. How do you feel about it a day removed from the actual event?
So I blacked out before and after, so I can't even give you a grade on the openers and the closers. So
you were just in your own head. Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I was going through what is going to happen during my set, going through how I want to execute things, and then getting off the stage. I was on such a high, just willing to laugh at whatever Theo had to say. And then that continued on through the main eventers.
You get that weight off your shoulder.
Yeah, so I can't speak on the behalf of, or my opinion on the improv art that we saw last night, but I can tell you I felt sad because you were my number one supporter going into last night.
Right.
And I knew the whole time, like I wasn't changing anything. I had these jokes written for a long time.
That's fine, yeah.
And I was like, oh,
and and Christian leads with talking about, the born on third base, let's call it, we see it. And it was funny. It was good. It was a good line. And that's how he led. And it didn't matter. It didn't bother me. I mean, it's a comedy set. What am I going to walk into a comedy set, with my earplugs in? Come on. This is a good comedy.
And I knew you could take it. That's why
if it's a funny joke, we're going to give him a clap for a funny joke. Who cares? It's not a big deal. And that's why I liked it. And I wouldn't take any offense. I wouldn't be worried about me taking any offense. Trust me, Christian. It was all good. There's nothing to be bothered about on that front from my end.
I rewatched the tape once last night while I was taking my dogs out, and since it was the first time that almost everybody in that room heard those jokes, it went well. Me being my own worst critic, there was a bunch of jokes that I skipped over, either because of time or because of lack of concentration or because Okay, I've towed the line that would jump over the line and slap somebody in the face with how offensive it might be in that room. So yeah, I was pretty happy with how it went. I was very proud of my performance last night.
I think you should be. I was moderately surprised. You warned me going in, but I was moderately surprised with just how edgy the topics got. And I give you credit for going for it, because you'd loop in stories, true or not, just to try to tell a punchline. And you loop in, you know, the head honcho at the top of the mountain, Stephanie Prince, our general manager of the station. You loop her into the story, and she'd be involved. And right when that got involved, and these are tricky subjects. It was funny. It was edgy. It's comedy. Come on, let's grow up a little bit. And you'd loop in Stephanie Prince into the topic of the story, and everybody was like, "Okay, be careful here. Come on now." Watch where you step. This could fizzle out just as fast as it flamed on. So that's why come in like lightning, disappear like smoke. And we all got nervous for you. But I am pleased to announce that I think everything went as well as it could have. You're not going to hit every joke. I don't think you did. But again, you got laughs. And there were some creative knocks that you included in that. And that's all you were looking for.
Yeah, the question now arises, will I ever do this in front of a true open mic stand-up audience? Obviously, would be different jokes, not inside jokes from within the office within ESPN West Palm, to where the inside jokes obviously won't fly. To be decided, not announced, to be decided. I don't know if I have it in me to write 5 more minutes of non-inside jokes and deliver them to strangers. I'm not sure if I've got that in me yet.
And how was I guess, you were kind of just on cloud 9 the whole time. I actually was impressed with Theo for the most part. I thought Theo did a good job. Yeah. And Theo comes in after Christian, where Christian sort of had everybody on the edge of their seats, not in terms of where he was going with his stories, but what topics he was going to hit with his punchlines. Everybody's like, oh my God, where is this kid going? And it all worked. So Theo comes on, and Theo, unlike Christian, was, I guess, planned within the hour or two preceding the show. And he had a shorter set, probably about 10 minutes. And Theo Dorsey comes on, and he goes into a couple different topics. He stayed away from Mike Rizzo because Mike Rizzo was not involved. He was not there. Mike's in Cleveland. So he stayed away from Mike Rizzo. He went after me a little bit. He went after Christina Costanza, who is on Theoretically Speaking with Theo Dorsey 3 to 4 every day. He did a good enough job at buying himself some time. There were times where you checked your phone and you kind of just played into the silence of it. I'm looking at my phone. I'm not going to acknowledge it. All right, let's see where I'm going from here. It's sort of like looking at your notes. Theo made it a part of a bit saying, I forget what joke I'm doing next. Let me read my phone. I thought that was a knock. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
You thought it's a part of the art to disguise it and be in the flow of it rather than address
it's almost like you're giving a speech. You got the speech in front of you.
You don't want someone to say, slow down that teleprompter.
You look down. You incorporate the silence, comfortable silence. Theo went up there without the phone handy and thought he'd be able to get away with it. And then I think this was like after the first joke. He's like, I forgot where I was going with this. Let me check my phone. And then he checks his phone, and it kills a little bit of the stamina of the routine. But I think Theo ended up well. I think he did a good job. He did a couple knocks on his wife, Ashley, who was there, who's lovely, and she took it well. So I think everybody had a good time. No alcohol required. Everybody had a great time.
No, I had, during the last break of Russo and Rizzo yesterday, I had to sprint over to the fridge that they have at Bob Carter's Actors Rep, who were gracious enough to host this very fun exclusive event last night. And I had to chug 2 hard seltzers, man. And I don't even like hard seltzer, but that was the only thing in the fridge that wasn't beer. So I made it work. And I had those cans of hard seltzer at the ready. Of course, you can't drink while on the air or right before getting on the air. So they were right by my side. Once we got off the air.
You had about a 20-minute period where you could do it.
Yeah, that was necessary. That you need a little bit of liquid courage to get the edge off a little bit.
And that
very intimidating.
That helped.
Yeah, who knows what it would have felt like without it, because it's only one example. But, Colin, have you put thought into wanting to do something like that?
Yeah, I'll try it eventually. Absolutely. I don't consider myself somebody who gets too much stage fright, But I like trying things that sort of challenge me in a different sense. And that seems like a challenge to make people laugh like that. Maybe I will. I probably will try that at some point in the future. You know what I think would be a great idea? And I think more offices around the world should do this, is they should handle it like, all right, hear me out here. They should handle it once a year. Team building exercises, some offices, they do happy hours, they do Christmas parties, they do paintballing, whatever the heck they do. I think ESPN West Palm should do a reaping once every year, similar to the Hunger Games, where everybody is in one place and we get like a loop or a spinning wheel or names in a jar, and you draw 3 names. And this is 3 weeks out from a stand-up comedy event, internally, externally, whatever it might be. And those 3 people that get drawn from the reaping have to come up with a set in 3 weeks and do and no holds barred. Everybody you can say anything about anybody in the office, fair game, 3 people, no discussion, unless of course for a medical emergency, then we'll find a 4th. Other than that, I think that would be a fun team building activity once a year. Once a year.
You said Hunger Games. I'm thinking Purge. It just feels like where for one night only, there is no jurisdiction on what comes out of our mouths into the microphone. Also, Festivus, you air your grievances.
Yeah,
in a point where
it's a blessing in a disguise.
It relieves those tensions.
You can say anything.
Oh, Bob from accounting is so annoying about these stupid pictures of his kids. I've had enough, and you let it out.
It's almost like it's a couples therapy, but with the whole office. It's an office comedic therapy session. You have a happy hour before, you get everybody a little loosened up, and then you shift everybody to a comedy stage floor where they can air out their grievances with this person in HR, with that person in sales, and they can have some fun with it. I think that is an ultimate morale boosting idea that ESPN West Palm should implement tomorrow. I think that would really work.
Now, I think it might work for a entertainment business type environment like we have here. Now, offices across the country, I think there might be problems. You don't
think the car dealership could get away with doing a stand-up routine?
Hey, Bob, does your wife know you cheated on her? I feel like someone gets 4 beers deep. That's up to the discretion
of the person who got, cast in the reaping, whether they want to play hardball or not.
But he said, "Hey, what you said? Anything goes. You said anything goes."
It's up to the comedian. That's sort of the beauty of it. Everybody who didn't get selected is nervous about what is going to be said about them, but the people that did get selected are nervous about what they have to say in order to make people laugh. That's why I think it's a perfect amount of stress for a 3-week period that alleviates an office for the remaining 11 months. I really think we should put some thought into that. I really think so. 888-760-3776 is doing an air your grievance out stand-up comedian competition in an office, a good morale boosting activity. Is that team building exercise, or are we asking to sever ties and to cause drama? Toxic, if you might. 888-760-3776. How should ESPN West Palm improve relations? Not that we need to, but there's always these opportunities where you could do events like this, like we had last night at Bob Carter's Actors Rep, where you could have some fun. And I think ultimately it's a good team building experience. Once a year.
People are pumping air in my tires last night and today, and I get very uncomfortable with compliments. I got to be honest. But it is pretty thrilling, I got to say, facing the fears like that. Because yes, it's on the bucket list. Yes, I've wanted to do this in my life. And now that I could say I've done it, it's pretty nuts.
It's an objective. The accomplishment of an objective is addicting. It is. Because you realize that I didn't think I could do this. All of a sudden, it's a confidence builder. It truly is. Doing stuff like that is a confidence builder. You didn't think you could do it, and then you did it. And then you're like, all right, that wasn't so bad. What's the next thing? That's where it gets fun.
Now I'm thinking of the ceremony of picking the names out of the hat, finding out who's going to be on stage.
That's why it's interesting. You're the previous victor. Yeah. You're the previous victor, and you get a year off, and then you're back into the reaping the following year.
No, I want to be what's his name? Who's the guy with the long hair who actually has short hair? He was in True Detective.
Woody Harrelson.
Yes, Woody Harrelson in Hunger Games.
Yeah, Mitch Abernathy. Yes. So you want to coach up the previous ones? I actually like that. You are the coach, the comedy council of the new people who got the reaping, and they have to clear their sets with you, and then following year, and then you reset the following. I like that. Mm-hmm. That's a good team building activity. Sign me up for this. I think we should do a Reaping, where we select 3 names or 2. You can do 2, but I think 3 makes sense. You can air out grievances. You can make it comedic. You can make it lighthearted, a la Nick Bargatze, who does like a bunch of family-style comedy. You can do whatever the heck you want. And then you do a full set. It has to be 10 minutes. That's a 30-minute period. You have some couple professionals spice it up on the ends, and then you have some fun with it. I think that is a great team-building activity because I don't think paintball's in our cards. I don't think ESPN West Palm is going to make that happen.
Although I would fight for paintball. Paintball is a work outing. Like, I will find any excuse to paintball because you can't just as an individual or even as a couple just go play paintball. You need to have like 10 people there to also want to play paintball on any given day. It's not just getting drinks. It's not just playing bowling or just bowling. You kind of need, so a work environment has the tools necessary in terms of the manpower and the organization to play paintball. So I won't shut down paintball.
We need some more ideas. 888-760-3776, the best work-related excursion, team-building excursion that you have done. Let us know if there's any good ideas that we should implement into ESPN West Palm. Give us a shout. 888-760-3776, best work-related, outside work, external excursions to improve team morale and team connectivity. Relationships.
So Steve K. Comedy hops on the Twitter chat and says, it's called a, quote, roast battle. So not entirely a roast like you might see on Comedy Central where it's all about one person.
You could flip it. Let's hear Steve out. You could have the reaping be the center of the roast. One person per year. And then everybody can rock. And
everyone gets their licks in?
Everybody has to come with a joke.
Whoa.
That's something.
I think
that's a little negative.
Yeah, that feels dystopian.
Feels a little negative. I don't know if it's not a better idea than the first one, but it's something.
Who just walks in and gets berated for 2 hours.
And everybody's going to try to play nice guy and say, I got nothing bad to say about this person. Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do. Everybody's got to give one. Just one.
And
or 2 or 3.
A scale of prizes, so you're actually roasting for an end result.
Yes.
Like, no, we're giving away 4 free vacation days to whoever comes with the best roast.
Okay.
Sorry, Tommy. You're going down,
Did
buddy.
I say I got nice things to say about you? Let's flip that.
Yeah, your kid's ugly, too.
Wow. 888-760-3776. ESPN West Palm needs more ideas for team-building excursions outside of the office. Let us know. Give us your best one that you've had in your experience. 888-760-3776. That's Christian Cat, Colin Russo, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've heard of the actual horror stories that happen to people when their AC units or even their electricity surges during bad storms. Hurricane season and summer temperatures have both officially arrived in South Florida, and you got to make sure that your home is cool. In order to ensure that your home stays cool during the summer storms, it's important to protect your AC unit from power surges. During hurricanes and large storms, turn off power to your AC at the breaker. And before the storms arrive, consider having additional surge protection added. John C. Cassidy is offering $500 off new installs to help with your summer cooling needs. They got convenient financing options with monthly payments starting as low as $92. John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing have been proudly serving Palm Beach County since 1960. They're your locally serviced and produced option. They're part of our local community. They support organizations like the YMCA, like the Palm Beach Gardens Youth Athletic Association. You can get more information, get one of their highly trained technicians to your home today by just going to CassidyAC.com. Once again, John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing, keeping your home cool and comfortable.
It's a Twin Peaks Tuesday. Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge for eats, drinks, and scenic views. This is ESPN 106.3.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that wants to learn more about careers with Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
It's Theo Dorsey, and I'm feeling hot, hot, hot. Temperatures are up, but your water shouldn't be full of mystery floaties. Culligan's got your back with water testing and reverse osmosis systems to keep things clean, cool, and crisp this summer. And get this, you can try it for just $10 a month. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and stop drinking who knows what. Visit Culligan.com today to schedule your free water test.
Hey, Culligan man!
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
ESPN 1063 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet, home of Inter Miami, Miami Heat, and the Miami Dolphins. Catch all the action and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 1063. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. Wager terms and conditions apply. Consider by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMIT.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
The Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. If you've been in a car accident, truck accident, someone to slip and fall, my friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, they're here to fight for you. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Why settle for just any attorney? Demand Anajar and Levine today, because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. All it takes is one phone call to take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for that free consultation today. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Colin Russo, Christian Cat with you on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 1063 at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. The best team building excursion your office has ever been on. What is that? 888-760-3776. The number to get into the program. That's 888-760-3776.
Now, when I worked in Oklahoma, we had this big grand idea, or at least the general manager of this radio station cluster that I worked for. This is an office in Northwest Oklahoma, kind of the middle of nowhere, that has about 6 people in it. And we have another office with about 6 more people in Oklahoma City. He said, let's get everyone together and let's go to Destin, Florida in, I think it was maybe the spring or whatnot.
Would you go on a spring break together with your offices?
Pretty much. It was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we flew back Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
So this is a team building exercise.
What'd you do? Did you have like set ideas or did you just go to the beach and go out?
It was very disorganized, which was the problem. Because our GM was like, we brought you here for a reason. There's going to be team building. There's going to be, just doing that type of stuff while also enjoying your time. And listen, this is Oklahoma. Some of these people have never been out of the state, never been out of the zip code. So for them to see the ocean, it was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. This is a big experience for them for this long weekend. And it turned into the airing of grievances, because when you drink around people you don't normally drink with and you let your walls down and now you're on your own time, you'll tell this lady in accounting how you really feel. You'll tell this guy who you really don't like. It did not happen to me. I didn't work there long enough to have the true pent-up anger that some of these people did have, but I had a front row seat to airing of grievances, a screaming match on the balcony of the condo that we rented.
You stayed in the same condo?
Yes, it was a massive condo. It was huge. It was pretty crazy. Everyone had their own bed. I shared a room with Bob.
How many guys and girls?
Let's see here.
12 people.
Yeah, 12 people. There was probably 6 and 6.
Wow. How about that? And you shared a condo. This is spring break.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So Oklahoma and North Dakota radio stations go on spring breaks together in Destin, Florida?
Not North Dakota. Oklahoma and Oklahoma City.
Oh, Oklahoma. Okay, never mind. All right. So Oklahoma and Oklahoma City, you flew from Oklahoma City to Destin, and then you spent the weekend together in a condo doing team building, but it ended up just turning out to people just airing out their grievances with each other.
And I was so socially inept and awkward that I turned to the bottle. So when we would go out to dinner, I would order the big fishbowl novelty drinks and just
house them. You'd be tossed.
I numbed the pain.
You're not hurting anybody's feelings, but you're half in the bag before we even finish dinner.
And that's where I got in trouble, because on our way home from one of those dinners where I ordered the novelty fishbowl Caribbean style drink with a bunch of floaties in it, all the bells and whistles, we stopped at the beach on the way home to do a sandcastle construction contest.
At night?
Yeah, it was like sunset. It was nice.
Okay.
And while my then GM was explaining the rules, I did one of those stumble real quick. While you're standing still, you lose your balance real quick, and then caught myself. And he looks at me and he goes, "He's bleeping drunk. Let's get the bleep out of here."
Wow. So you killed the whole the singular team building exercise that this Oklahoma radio station put together, and you ruined it because you were too in the bag?
Listen, I needed to have a little comedic effect because people were crying over this. People have worked at this radio station for like 8 to 10 years, and things were pent up, and they were mad. And
this is like personal problems that people have with somebody.
Maybe it was fleshing out a little bit. Yeah, they liked a former GM, and this guy came in and they didn't like him that much. And people got fired, and they didn't want them to be fired. It was some nasty business going on, and it was all flaring up because people were forced to be with their coworkers on off times, and even if it was in paradise.
You were together for 4 days. All right, let me ask you this: when you get back, give it a week to boil over. Was the office closer because of it?
It kind of was. It kind of.
That's why you do it. That is why you do it.
Was built up, and we were tougher. The calluses were there.
That's why you do it. You go through hell and back together. That's what it is.
Dude, we were driving an hour and a half north back to our town from the airport after all this went down. We carpooled with a couple people. Just cried. The lady was real tears. And I'm sitting there in the passenger seat. What do you do when your coworker cries in front of you and you're a captive, just a partisan person?
Wait, you're 6 people in the car?
It was only 3 of us.
Wow. So what's the driver doing?
The driver was crying.
The driver was crying, and who were the other 2? It was you and then the other guy crying?
No, the other guy was not crying. The other guy, he was...
Was he the reason that driver was crying?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, you could have the ultimate therapy session right then and there. Air it out.
Yeah, that was my, to the max, company outing gone wrong. I guess it kind of got the end result it wanted.
Hold on. You got to hear this out, Christian.
Yeah, that GM isn't working there anymore, though.
Oh, he doesn't?
No.
Okay. You guys are closer because of it. So you're saying that ESPN West Palm should set up a trip to Atlantis or something like that, where we could, let's just go to the Keys and get a big condo.
That would work.
And then we could hash out all of our problems in a closed, confined space over the course of 4 days.
I kind of love that. I think the Florida Keys, July 2026, maybe on the Dead Sports Week.
And then you have the stand-up thing. Let's do it at the beginning. Let's start this off with a bang. So you have the 3 people who are caught at our reaping where we decide who has to do a stand-up routine. And then night 1 in the Keys of our ESPN West Palm outing. You have the top 3 people do their stand-up routines. They air out a bunch of grievances. They set fires in places with gasoline. And then all of a sudden you get the next 3 days to really hash it out.
That would work. There's a lot of bars in Key West that would be perfect for that. They would be happy for us to show up, grab the stage. They have like the comedic guitar guy. Like Irish Kevin's is a famous bar in Key West where they just pretty much roasts everyone in the audience and does comedic songs while sitting on a stool playing the acoustic guitar.
Okay.
We could take one of those stages and have a ball.
Okay. I think we got something here. You want to talk about how to improve morale in the office? Get everybody in a confined space for a long period of time.
Yeah.
An escape room would really do that as well. If we had to do like a really complicated, intricate escape room that would take hours on end. And then all of a sudden, hour 2, John O'Terry, who's one of our sales guys, is going right after me or you or something like that, having a good time.
It's like the 3rd act of a Saw movie. That's what I'm imagining.
That's it. That's it. That's where
people
you get
this desperate.
And that's where you uncover the truth. And that's where you're better people because of it. We're on to something. Team building morale, 888-760-3776. Is Christian Cat onto something here, or is that the worst idea you have ever heard? Best team building excursions that you have ever done. We need more ideas. 888-760-3776. I like that.
And we could do our show from Key West, too.
Sure can.
The drinks to go in until after we're off the air. We comply by all the FCC rules and the company rules, and we could do this without skipping a beat. Hell, I would even pitch in to rent a condo. You get enough people there, it gets really affordable.
Yeah, right. And I'm sure there's some pretty cool, affordable places. You could go in the off-season. We could go at any point. 888-760-3776. Okay. Let's improve the relations of ESPN West Palm. That's Christian Cat, Colin Russo and Rizzo, of course. On the flip side, we got to talk a little bit Manuel Clasander, gambling probe investigation. We touched on a little bit on it yesterday. But these professional players, stop gambling. Stop gambling. I said it yesterday, so I'm going to be a little bit of a hypocrite here. When you're a professional player and you can't excuse the professional player for gambling or being involved in gambling just because there are gambling companies that sponsor these sports leagues. That's not that one thing does not lead to another. That doesn't make any sense. We'll get into that a little bit on the flip side. It's Russo Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium is America's busiest ballpark, with Florida State League baseball games 6 days a week, Tuesday through Sunday, including the 2-for-1 Tuesday ticket deal, Silver Slugger Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, Friday Family 4-pack, Kids Club Saturdays, and $10 tickets every Sunday. Enjoy all the fun promotions while seeing the future stars of baseball take the field. For tickets, schedules, promotions, and more information, stop by the ticket office or visit RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli. And
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Manzo's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Manzo's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 13th. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus, offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits towards a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chevy.
Get ready, South Florida. It's the 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl. Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at FAU's Flagler Credit Union Stadium. Two of the best group of 5 teams go head-to-head in the ultimate holiday showdown. Over 150 players have gone from this field to the NFL. Who's next? Visit BocaRatonBowl.com for the latest, including when tickets will go on sale. The 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl, Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. Thursday, The Hall of Fame game kicks off the NFL preseason. It barely matters, but it totally matters. Pads are on, emotions are high, starters not included. Catch the glorious return of football. Coverage starts at 8 on ESPN 106.3.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Major League Baseball has had 5 gambling probes, gambling investigations in the last year. 5. 2 players recently in the last basically month for the Cleveland Guardians. Congratulations to Mike Rizzo on that front. Got a bunch of guys throwing games to Black Sox, essentially. It's not necessarily a foreign concept. I mentioned the aforementioned, of course, Black Sox in 1919. But this is a recurring theme now. NBA deals with this, and the MLB deals with this. You can't do it in the NFL. Your shelf life is too short. But the fact that we're dealing with first pitch balls and strikes, if being a strike or a ball and betting on it, and then throwing it, not throwing a game. But if we're going to hold Pete Rose, up by his toes in front of the Hall of Fame committee when he's still alive because he gambled on his team to win, and then doing the investigations, you don't know whether how involved Ohtani was in his situation. The bottom line is these players are entirely too involved. And you ask, and it really begs the question of why is this coming up more and more in the last 18 months than it has probably in the 3 or 4 years prior. And maybe it's, I guess, the accessibility to gambling, because gambling has now been legalized in a number of states. And we love our friends at Hard Rock Bet. You can gamble on Hard Rock Bet right here in Florida. Maybe it's the accessibility of it all. But the idea that these leagues are embracing gambling, Christian, are you under the impression that Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, embracing gambling companies, you think that lends itself more to these players getting involved in the gambling? Or you think it's more along the lines of it's just being looked at a little further? Or is there a chicken or the egg situation here with why there is an influx of more gambling probes now than there has been last couple of years?
Yeah, it's tough to say because I can only speak on my own experience with being aware of sports gambling. Like I got into it while I was in college. So it's been a part of my life now in terms of the content that I create, in terms of my job. I've leaned on it and referred to it and been aware of what lines are, what the odds mean, and everything like that for a while now. But if I were to put myself into the shoes of someone who only learned about the ins and outs of sports gambling because it's being advertised on their baseball team, maybe you actually are not educated on the legality of things and how easy it is to get caught on these things and how truly horrible and unethical it is to take advantage of your status as a player in a game that you can also bet on. Maybe if they're just introduced to it and they make snap decisions for short-term financial gain, they're not educated enough on it. I mean, I don't want to make presumptions about the intelligence level of these players when it comes to gambling, but that's what I'm kind of giving the benefit of the doubt on, I guess.
Here's the thing. You can't blame Major League. And there's part of me that thinks, yes, does the accessibility of gambling, it's easier to get involved in gambling. It's more part of the everyday life in terms of a sports fan. Yes, that probably has something to do with it. But the gambling and betting and odds placing is not a new concept. This has been a thing that has been in the Major League Baseball rules for over 100 years. And the argument back then when the Black Sox did it in 1919, when they threw the World Series, was the players weren't getting paid a lot of money and they needed more money. You can't say that about players now, especially Emmanuel Clase, who's a closer for the Guardians, who is making good money, good Major League money. So it's not about making the money here. I think it's more about maybe a gambling addiction problem. But the fact that this is recurring, the only way, and it kind of stinks because I was talking about Pete Rose, and it's going to be a case-by-case basis, and I think Pete Rose is a Hall of Famer. He was a gambler when he was a manager, not when he was a player, and he was a pro gambler in terms of betting on his own team to win. It's a situation-by-situation basis. But if you get a situation like Clase, who is negatively impacting the team at the expense of a bet, of a gamble, the only way, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, the only way to truly fix it is to ban these guys for life. It's the only way to do it.
Oh, yeah, you got to make an example.
You have to make the example. You got to ban them for life or a major death penalty like. And the thing is, I'm both sides on this because of Pete Rose, only because of Pete Rose. Pete Rose, as a baseball player, was not Pete Rose, the manager, gambler in favor of his own team. Now, was there a game that Pete Rose willingly lost or a game that he willingly did this and that? We don't have the full story. So I guess I'm kind of playing both sides here. But the bottom line is there's no place for gambling in the sport. And the fact that this is happening with current day, everyday, reliable players in Major League Baseball. You want to talk about Cleveland for a second? No Mike Rizzo here. But with Emmanuel Clase, one half a season removed from one of the biggest collapses of his career, where he blew up against the New York Yankees in the playoffs, and he was terrible. Not to say he threw the games, but if that were to happen, you're one of the most reliable closers in baseball, one of the most reliable relievers in baseball. You blow the series against the Yankees, you're god-awful, the Soto home run, everything. And then you go 4 months down the line and you're throwing first pitches in favor of bets. You're going to be one of the most the Mount Rushmore of hated Cleveland athletes.
Absolutely.
Alongside Deshaun Watson. That's how bad it would get for him.
Like, okay, I can kind of at least get closer to understanding in the NBA these bench guys who will manipulate their personal player props for short-term financial gain that they thought would turn into long-term financial gain. But with Clase, I think you sold him a little bit short on how his season was last year before the blow up in the postseason. He had Cy Young conversation.
He was unbelievably good. Unbelievably good.
To have one of the best at their position at a certain point in time, that closely removed from that season, throwing or intentionally shaving points essentially in baseball, the equivalent of that is scary. It's actually terrifying.
2024, Emmanuel Clase, to add to your point, 5 earned runs in 74 innings pitched last year. And in the postseason, in 8 innings pitched, he had 8 earned runs and a 9 ERA.
Now, when you hear that, do you hear something's funny with that postseason? Or something happened in that postseason that made him think, I got to think about myself to make money elsewhere?
How bad of a financial spot do you have to be in? Because the amount of money he probably cost himself off that postseason alone. The only way I can think of, you're not a gambling addict if you're throwing games in the postseason. You need money. You're desperate for money. You're not a gambling addict if this is a regular season versus postseason thing and you finally decide against the Yankees, it's time for us to start blowing games. I can't imagine that's a gambling addict problem. That's a money problem. I need money. And you're costing yourself more money in the long term by blowing these games. Anyway, I don't view that as a throwing games, but I view that from the perspective of a fan. What is a fan supposed to think about this guy? On one end, he was reliable, and then he was terrible. And then now he's continuing to be terrible. And now they're suspending him for gambling on games, potentially gambling on games, questionably gambling on games in a negatory sense. Not betting on the Guardians to win. Now, betting on him to start back in counts at 1-0. That's what he's gambling on. What is the fan supposed to think?
And that's how the foundation of your sport actually crumbles. If you cannot turn on your television and watch your favorite baseball team and have the bare minimum expectation that the players on the field are trying to do the best they can at their position to win the baseball game, if you can't guarantee that when you turn on baseball, yeah, we have a serious problem.
It's unbelievable how slippery of a slope this has become for Major League Baseball, and you got to snip it at the head before it gets a chance to really spiral out of control. You got to make examples. If you get found proof that these guys are negatively betting on games and negatively impacting their stats in favor of bets, you got to make examples and ban them for life. If Pete Rose is banned for his whole life, these guys will be too. And I don't agree with Pete Rose not getting in as a player, but if that's the standard you set, Class A, if he is guilty, see ya. Ortiz, if he's guilty, see ya. But the one problem is you're always going to have that Shohei thing hanging over the MLB. You're going to have that Shohei situation with Shohei Ohtani, 48 hours, basically, that investigation was opened and closed. And the fall man was the translator who had access to millions of dollars in Shohei's gambling accounts. I'm not insinuating everything, but I'm just saying that this is, on one hand, this is how we're seeing the investigations be done. And on the other hand, this Shohei thing was done before it even got started. That's where it gets a little bizarre. That's where the Major League Baseball takes a knock because they don't know necessarily. You can't throw your biases aside depending on how good the player is. That's where it gets tricky. And
you do not think that this is a byproduct of Major League Baseball's advertising partners being gambling companies? You don't think you can put that to blame?
No.
Because it's not like they're putting goodie bags outside the lockers, you know? Like, if there was stuff that was a little bit too close, maybe.
Gambling maybe being legalized in certain states, but it's not like Emmanuel Clase's got a DraftKings account and his brother is putting games. These are underground bookies. Maybe it's via apps, but I would figure that this is more so, these are high-end bets. I'd be surprised if this was mainstream gambling. I'd be surprised if this wasn't through different avenues to get. Maybe I'm being naive, and maybe these guys are stupider than I thought. Right. But if that was the case, I mean, this just should have been caught a whole lot earlier when there's $13,000 on Emmanuel Clase first pitch ball for the third straight game.
Yes. I don't know how they would be able to monitor illegal bookies and how to monitor that pitch by pitch. A lot of those illegal bookies don't actually, from what I've heard, don't offer those first pitch of the fourth inning to be a ball.
Maybe I'm wrong there.
So
I don't know.
That's the new bells and whistles are on the legal sports books that allow you to bet on these very specific outcomes of the games that can be determined by one man's decision, that man who's towing the rubber at that very moment. And they might be that stupid. That's why I actually think I do go back into stupidity and ignorance on the fire that they are dancing with. These guys who are dipping their toes into unethical gambling practices, where I think it's almost like a systemic. They have to do counseling, not with these guys who have already caught their hand in the cookie jar, but I know that all these athletes in these professional sports leagues get the gambling talk, maybe when they sign their contract, or maybe it's once a season. It needs to be more than that then. That's what I'm getting at. We need to be repeatedly hammering the message home that if you are even close, if we catch you at a casino where there is a sports
should
book,
be viewed like steroids. Yes, if viewed like steroids. Good luck. You're ostracized by the league. Not even a year suspension, but you're banned for life. Even worse than that.
And that message needs to be repeated time and time again. It's not like you get a driver's license and you are never again checked on your ability to drive a car. That's how it is now. Maybe it's not how it shouldn't be. In this, gambling and professional athletes needs to be kept up with, or people will kind of forget the severity of the issue. And right now we're being reminded, you said there's 5 open cases?
I don't know, last year. Open and closed, whether that one thing or other, but there's 5 cases, investigations opened last year.
Which, that's damaging. That's really, really bad. I think I'm making presumptions, and we don't know all the details, but that feels to me like people that are not aware of the severity of what they're doing and how crippling it is to the game and their lives if and when they do get caught, and how easy it is to get caught.
Now you have an opportunity to make your presence felt if you're Major League Baseball. You don't need players to get immunity, similar to how the 2017 Astros or the 2018 Red Sox did. You don't necessarily need to find out opportunities to get more information from players. All you need to do is set a standard. If that is the case in how you treated Pete Rose, and Pete Rose, who never admitted to it, keep that in mind, until his book came out in 2004. No, it never admitted it. If that is the case, then you have to set a standard here. If these guys are actually gambling on games, ban them for life. If we had to wait for Pete Rose, one of the great players in the history of baseball, And I keep bringing up Pete Rose because that's the obvious situation. If we're going, and I think Pete should be in as a player, but hey, here's your standard. You said it with him. You got to stick to your guns. And if this is a real problem, and it sounds like it is, you have an opportunity to kind of kill it at its source by getting those players out. Get them out. Get them out of the league. Goodbye. See ya. Go pitch with Trevor Bauer in Japan. All right? You're not playing baseball on American soil anymore. Can't do it. It's not going to work. Mexico, wherever he is. If you want to sniff a gambling service or even be attached to one, or even if there is a weird gambling pattern attached to your name, you at the very least get a month suspension, and you have to come up with proof that there was no wrongdoing on your behalf.
That's tough. Now that becomes a witch hunt.
It's a witch hunt.
If someone out there is selling their picks and they're saying, hey, did you know that this left-handed reliever usually throws a waist pitch before a batter? Then you're going to get guys that are tailing that. And maybe they are big dogs, sharps, whales in Vegas that also recognize the same pattern. That's tough.
Tough. But the great thing about baseball is everything can be boiled down to stats. And when Emmanuel Clase is night and day different in terms of how he pitches from last year to this year, and this year all of a sudden there's a gambling uptick on certain things that have changed alongside the patterns. It's too much of a coincidence to really run into a player that has a bad pattern alongside a gambling uptick from the get-go. If that is the case and he is wrongdoing, all right, then you're going to have to prove your innocence. But this is the only way to nip it at its head. That's the only way to truly get rid of it at its problem. And the NBA has a similar issue. And they threw Jonte Porter in jail. So keep that in mind. Nobody knows what's going to happen with Rozier and all these guys because they've been investigating left and right. But the fact that this is coming up in major professional sports leagues, I can't imagine it's about the money, but chances are it is. Financial literacy 101.
Yeah, I think that because of the nature of the sports, because individuals have a great ability to just determine the result of a bet on their decision-making, if they want to not achieve their player props, it's a lot easier to be tempted to illegally, unethically impact the game in baseball and in basketball. Football is a little more difficult.
Shelf life is too short. They're too reliant. There's 16 games a year. You don't have time to do that. You can't do that.
But I also think that the guys that have the most direct impact on the game are quarterbacks, and they get paid so well, and they're so public that it would be kind of difficult for them to shave points and kind of taste the illegal endeavors of gambling.
And there's too much of a negative downside if you're looking for stats and you're going to downplay the stats, because that's the whole reason that you get paid.
That's how Paul Crew got locked up in
the longest yard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And but from that perspective, football is almost bulletproof in that regard. You don't see it as much in football. You've seen it before. You don't see it as much. You don't. There's a lot of integrity attached to that game because people survive for so little time. Baseball, you play 162 games. All of a sudden, in the middle of the game, July, and you can make yourself an extra $50,000 if you just throw a ball at the first pitch of the seventh inning. Can sound enticing, but that comes consequences. You can't have this problem in Major League Baseball. You can't have this problem in Major League Sports. And if you're going to make an example out of Pete Rose, make an example out of these players if they're guilty. Stick to your guns. 888-760-3776. How should Major League Baseball, other professional sports leagues, combat players getting involved with gambling? 888-760-3776. Number to get into the program on Russo and Rizzo. That's Christian Cat. Colin Russo taking a timeout, entering into the second hour after this on ESPN 106.3.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
It's a Twin Peaks Tuesday. Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge for eats, drinks, and scenic views. This is ESPN 106.3.
Cohen here, reminding you that ESPN 106.3 is the official home for Inter Miami Soccer. Wednesday, the League's Cup tournament kicks off. It's MLS versus Liga MX. Inter Miami and Atlas FC get it all started. We go live to Fort Lauderdale at 7 here on ESPN 106.3.
Lowe's knows hot deals help you get the most out of summer. Get up to 30% off select major appliances and get it delivered as soon as next day. Plus, get up to 30% off select patio furniture, grills, outdoor power equipment, and more. These end-of-season savings won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Valid on eligible in-stock orders in select locations. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
This is the Inter Miami save of the game.
Out ahead the defense, FC Cincinnati. Left foot, Reyes Novo, a sprawling save to his wide at the top border of the 6-yard box. He was able to deny. He took it from outside the penalty arc, and Reyes Novo read it well. And there's the first save tonight for Rocco Reyes Novo.
Brought to you by PNC Bank. PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865.
It's Theo Dorsey, and I'm feeling hot, hot, hot. Temperatures are up, but your water shouldn't be full of mystery floaties. Culligan's got your back with water testing and reverse osmosis systems to keep things clean, cool, and crisp this summer. And get this, you can try it for just $10 a month. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and stop drinking who knows what. Visit Culligan.com today to schedule your free water test.
Hey, Culligan man!
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet, home of Inter Miami, Miami Heat, and the Miami Dolphins. Catch all the action and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 106.3. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. Wager terms and conditions apply. Consider by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMITTED.
Elevate your drive with the new 2026 Range Rover Velar P250S, where sleek design meets powerful performance. Lease it today for just $749 a month for 36 months with $6,995 due at signing. This is your chance to command the road in signature Range Rover style. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and make sophistication yours. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Attention business owners, the next several months are going to be super busy. Why not let us take some of the burden off of you? Get the help you need from Intelligent Office in Palm Beach Gardens. Professional live receptionists to answer, screen, and forward all of your calls to you live. Why do you need a virtual assistant? No high salaries, no holidays or sick pay, no call-outs, no turnover, and no additional equipment. Call 561-472-8400 or visit intelligentoffice.com to learn more how we can help you streamline your day.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Collins!
Second hour, Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3 with Colin Russo and Christian Cat. No Mike Rizzo this week on sabbatical on vacation up in Cleveland. Into the second hour of the program on a Tuesday edition, Tuesday, July the 29th, 2025, last couple days of July upcoming. We got the trade deadline, a lot of names being floated around, no major moves done yet. We'll see what happens to Eugenio Suarez after he was hit by a pitch yesterday against Detroit. The third baseman slugger from Arizona Diamondbacks, who was one of the hottest names with about 40 home runs on the year. on the trade market. Hit by a pitch in the hand yesterday. Everybody got nervous. I believe MRIs and X-rays are negative. So another name that is anticipated to be moved. We'll see with Sandy Alcantara if he goes anywhere. Dylan Cease, a lot of names to be thrown around. Zach Allen, another one for these major teams who need big-time arms heading into the postseason hunt. Christian Cat, Colin Russo. Of course, we're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Christian Cat made his debut on the stand-up comedy stage yesterday, courtesy of our pals over at Bob Carter's Actors Rep. For more than 40 years, Actors Rep has been at the forefront of bold storytelling, transformative education, and fearless creativity right here in South Florida. Now the organization needs your help to carry that legacy into the future. They're raising $40,000 to preserve Actors Rep's mission and reimagine its next chapter. You can donate today. Go to GoFundMe.com/SaveActorsRep and help keep this creative spirit alive for generations to come. No Mike Rizzo once again. Christian Cat, it's time for us to bounce around a little bit. Let's do a little 5 at 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU athletics. Earn up to $700 per year with boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Number 1.
Let's start off with something from Colin Russo's personal life. You were invited to a 32-team Dynasty Fantasy Football League. Did I hear that correctly? Because that feels like a horrible idea.
Just invited. They got 31 people already in. So I'm the 32nd. And they need one more. And they invited me and said, hey, do you want to join this? Bunch of college buddies. 32, they said Dynasty League. I haven't joined another fantasy league in probably 10 years. So this is an interesting little endeavor, but it's like I'm in a 10-man league and a 12-man league. I've been in the same 2 leagues, the same 2 groups, and I try to overlap as much as I can with those 2 leagues. With a 32-man league, everything completely changes. I don't know. It's not on ESPN. It's on one of these random apps. I don't know if you draft players all over the field. I don't know if you draft just the major players in fantasy football, but I do know that it's a 32-man Dynasty League. I don't know what this means, really, if I'm going to, rely on Khalif Raymond and Devin Singletary to take me home to victory week in and week out. I don't really know the quality of player that I'll have access to. 32 teams. Starting quarterbacks, hello. That's the most important position on the field. There's going to be some guys, trotting out there with Geno Smith. And they'll
be lucky if they get Geno Smith. It's going to Tyler Shuck, and they're hoping he's going to start.
Tyler Shuck. That's exactly it. We're going to have to – Zach Wilson's going to be my starter and hope that Tua goes down.
You got to draft Quinn Ewers.
That's ridiculous. I don't know if I'm going to join this yet. Part of me is curious. I think I might and not just care about it, but I got to see what the buy-in situation is. I got to see if people are putting in big-time money on this.
So if you had the first overall pick, and this is a standard league, the usual, the 2 receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end, a flex, the usual scoring. Jamar Chase is going number 1 overall in a lot of leagues right now. You'd probably take him.
I don't know.
No? Okay.
Think about it. What are you picking? 1 in 64?
Exactly. That's what I was getting at.
You're not getting a running back. No, you're getting either a running back then, or you're never getting one at all.
All right, so then go Bijan Robinson or go Saquon. You're getting one of those, or Jahmyr Gibbs. You're getting one of those top guys.
I feel like that's your only option, right?
So you're going, let's say it's Saquon.
But then I realize that the rest of the league loves their quarterbacks, and and I come back around, and all of a sudden I got, Sam Darnold. Jeez.
Welcome to Caleb Johnson, running back 27 territory, ADP 67. Yeah, it gets nasty quick.
Wow. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. I don't know if I like it, but you got to be thinking years in the future. You got to draft young players. I don't know. Travis Kelce will be a 5th-round pick because he's going to play for 2 more years.
True. Yeah, you're looking at this draft. You're looking at guys who have never played a snap as realistic options if it's a dynasty league. Damn. That's all.
Should I do this out of curiosity almost?
Right. I almost want you to do it out of my curiosity, but I don't have to maintain a 32-team dynasty football league.
I'm not touching anything. I'm not touching it. Like, what am I going to do? find out which backup is playing this week. I mean, it sounds like a whole hassle. That's the one thing I don't love about it, but I think I might do it.
I do a 2-quarterback league with 12 teams. And even then, people are scratching and clawing for their second quarterback if you're not prioritizing it in your draft.
All right.
So 30, you could just screw over 3 people by drafting 2 quarterbacks.
I could.
And yes,
no
it would
other
hurt your own
positions,
team,
but I get like Jaden Daniels and somebody else who's going to play for 15 years.
Ooh.
There's something there.
Number 2.
Let's go to Canada, because I saw this video earlier today, and it comes to us from the PGA Championship of Canada. His name is Felipe Garrepi. I don't know if he's Italian, but G-A-R-I-E-P-Y, Garrepi. He is putting with an 18-inch putter. Put it in perspective, his putter pretty much just reaches his kneecap.
Wow.
And he's 3 under on the day. He had a hole-in-one today. I feel like when you get into these golf clubs that are way off the reservation, within the rules, because that is the shortest legal putter you can use, you're just kind of asking for attention. 18-inch putter.
Is it the putting, though? That's different strokes for different folks. That's like that. If there's one thing about the drivers and your swing, and yes, it's different, a little different for everybody, but there's a main priority that you got to follow in terms of skill set. And same thing with your wedge game, your approach shots, everything like that. But if I'm thinking about it from a putter's perspective, a putter is all about different strokes for different folks. It just works for everybody. There's not like a perfect way to do it, right?
If you feel confident within your hands, I feel like that's half the battle.
Right.
I guess physics would tell you want the most amount of control of your putts, and the way to maximize your control of the putt is to be closest to the ball.
But you're also bent over. What's your equilibrium there? Can you even see properly? Are you bent? It's very bizarre.
You can watch it on YouTube right now, the video of Felipe with his tiny putter, and he's in a squat. He's in a full-on like sumo wrestling squat, hovering over this putter, where I almost think he gets the correct line. Like there is a certain body formation that you can't do when you are putting in tour events. Like you can't line up directly behind the ball and like pendulum swing it forward. We know you can't anchor it to your chest anymore like we used to see with those big broomstick putters. Right. He's kind of using what they do say is the golf rules are difficult. So when you get a break, when the golf rules can be used in your advantage, you should use them. That comes with balls that get hit out of bounds, they get free drops, this, that, and the third, maybe a sprinkler head. This is an example of a guy using the PGA or the USGA rules to his advantage.
He's got the Happy Gilmore swing going. Just because it's different doesn't mean it doesn't work. I know you didn't want to hear that because it's Happy Gilmore, and you're not happy with Happy Gilmore at the moment.
No.
Similar to that.
But I will...
Number 3.
Seamless transition to our next topic. Happy Gilmore 2. Big debut over the weekend, straight to streaming, straight to Netflix. Happy Gilmore 2 generated 46.7 million views in 3 days, the biggest U.S. opening weekend event ever for a Netflix film. And I can guarantee you that those 46.7 million views were all people watching it one time, because no one in their right mind would ever watch it a second time. It's a great number that you got there. You only account for multiple people watching one TV.
I'm pretty in tune with this stuff. I'm always curious on how Netflix movies and box office stuff. I always pay attention to how movies do when they first get released. And one thing I know about Netflix is nobody fact checks Netflix.
Oh.
Netflix, I saw these godforsaken Dwayne Johnson movies that nobody's ever heard of or enjoys, saying that, they're breaking records in terms of the amount of people that have tuned in terms of streaming minutes. They're very good about bending the rules to favor some sort of blockbuster or opening. I don't know if I trust Netflix too much to release a proper reading on this, but Happy Gilmore, a lot of people did tune in, especially stateside America in the United States. I don't know. I don't believe a word that comes out of Netflix's mouth.
This is from Variety, so at least a third party, like a magazine.
But probably per Netflix, though. Right? We'd have to double check. The thing about Variety is they're a publication source. They don't have the Netflix. Netflix doesn't subscribe to Nielsen. They don't have the ratings. They track their own ratings. they probably dance around the actual stats more than the best they can. That makes it best for an actual publication.
Well, the thing is, when you have 62, no exaggeration, 62 cameos in a movie, it's like getting an influencer to collaborate with you on Instagram. Like, they're pushing it out to their audience.
More eyes. So I buy it. But I think it was called Red Notice with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Ryan Reynolds. Never watched it. Never planned to. I know it's terrible. I don't need to watch it to know that it's terrible. I believe that was like the biggest Netflix movie ever. And then they had another one. Again, with Dwayne Johnson. You sensing a theme here? And I believe Chris Evans on some Christmas movie. I want to say it was called like Red One. Again, with these red names.
Yes.
Red One. That just came out last year. That was apparently a big Christmas opening for Netflix as well. Nonsense it was. Nobody watched that. Nobody's ever heard of that. So this has happened more than once with Netflix, drawing blanks and trying to make this seem to be some big cultural phenomenon. The one thing about Happy Gilmore is it has garnered some buzz comparatively to the crappy Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie.
Did you finish the movie yet?
I got 20 minutes left.
Oh my! What are you watching it like in the car on the way here?
I watched it during dinner last night, and once I finished dinner, I don't need to finish this. You know what I mean? Like, I'll finish this tomorrow. Like, I had to get up. The thing is, I've been getting my life back together because I was traveling over the weekend. But I have a lot of stuff to do, so I only did it when I was eating. And then when I was done eating, let's just say I wasn't captivated enough to finish the last 25 minutes. So I'll finish that probably tonight. I'll probably get to it tonight.
It's really captured your attention. Great movie, huh?
Yeah, right. If it was a great movie, I would have sat down and watched it. But the last 25 minutes I heard is where it falls off the rails. So we'll see how that goes.
It is my least favorite movie of all time. Okay. That's what I'm saying about it. Maybe worst movie of all time. It's all subjective, but my least favorite.
I could give you have an affinity to golf. I think you have an affinity to the first one. But I could give you some movies that your blood will curdle watching. You will hate it. I can give you a couple. I've seen some bad ones as well.
Planet 51 was an animated movie about an astronaut who lands.
About the green guy. You hated that movie?
I walked out of That's the only movie I've ever walked out of that wasn't the new Winnie the Pooh movie because I wanted to go watch the Meg 2. But I walked out of the Winnie the Pooh movie in favor of another movie because I was in a fight with my girlfriend. But I walked out of Planet 51 with my mom because we didn't like the movie that bad.
Wow. I walked out of the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie because I was so uninterested in what was going on. And I'm a big Pirates. I like the initial ones. But I was not a fan of that one. Including, like you mentioned the worst movies I've ever seen. I have an app. I'm on Letterboxd. And Letterboxd, you could rank every movie you've ever seen in terms of a rating. I don't have it like 1 through. I have over 1,000 movies rated. But I have a bunch of half a stars. And there are some. You ever see Madam Web? Came out last year.
I've heard about it. I've heard Dakota Johnson is laughable in it.
No. It's one of the worst movies to ever come out. It was one of the worst pieces of media to ever exist. I wrote a review about it because I write a review for my own personal enjoyment when I watch these things. And I go, this is one of the worst pieces of media to ever release. And I literally said in the review, I watched this probably a year and a half ago. I said, I went through my other half a stars and I determined which others I'd watch before I watched this again. And it was nearly all of them. That's just how bad it was and how displeased I was with that film.
They don't let you do 0 stars?
You can unrate it, but in order to make it in the order, now half a star is like my 5. It goes half a star through 5 star. My 5 stars is only like 30 of them. My half a star, there's only like 40 of them.
What's your latest 5-star movie that you've watched?
I want to say it's Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
And which came out last March, I believe. There's been a couple 4.5s, but I hand those out very seldomly. I handed that out to Dune Part 2, which is wildly deserving. If you don't think so, you're completely lost. And I think before that, the one previous to that might have been the 6th Mission Impossible movie.
Wow.
So that came out in 2018, maybe 2019. Actually, no. The Spider-Verse movie came out, 3 years ago? That and Oppenheimer, I didn't even give 5 stars. That was a 4.5. So for me, I hand that out very seldomly. And I handed that out to Dune Part 2. That was the most recent.
I kind of showed my butt with Oppenheimer because we had very front row seats just because of last second deciding to go see the movie.
And everybody was seeing. Every theater was packed.
Exactly. So it was sparingly, and I wasn't going to my discount movie theater that I get for $6. I respected Christopher Nolan enough to go into a better movie theater for that.
I like that. Good for you. Good for you. I appreciate that.
But because of that, I was sitting pretty much front row, and there was no captions in the movie. And I've realized that because I watch movies at home with captions on and a lot of TV with captions on, I wasn't prepared for it. The speakers were not directed for me. So a lot of the award-winning dialogue in Oppenheimer, it went over my head because I couldn't hear it that well.
Wow. Interesting. That's a brutal spot for you. Yeah. I'm thinking of these 5.5 stars right now. Home Alone 3, Sharknado.
You gave Home Alone. I liked Home Alone 3.
No. Oh, you're lost.
Macaulay Culkin was fortunate to be in the spot he was.
Well, that was the one without Macaulay Culkin.
Exactly. I'm saying the premise is so good that I didn't need Macaulay Culkin.
And the third Jaws movie, have you seen that one?
I probably have. I forgot which it is.
It's in the movie. It's in the water park.
Yes, I love that movie.
That's one of the worst movies. It's the worst piece of media to ever
yes,
exist.
the water skiing and gets over the... Yeah.
One of the most god-awful movies to ever come out. Jaws,
Really?
3D. Hated it. Hated every second. It's not one of those movies. There's movies that I have here that are so bad that I love them. That is not one of them. Sharknado is some of that for some people. That movie is so laughably awful. It's just unenjoyable.
I mean, sci-fi made a killing off of those action, horror, disaster, parody movies, and Sharknado was the premier example. They would always come out with those movies during the summer, and it would always be during Shark Week. And Shark Week would always coincide with when I would go to the Outer Banks with my extended family.
So you'd always watch it.
I would get the family together and said, gather around, team. We are going to all watch Sharknado 1, and then the second year, Sharknado 2. Who's the famous blonde actress that's in all of those movies? Because she was, at one point, a very serious actress, and then she got looped into the Sharknado movies, and that's where I swear I know her from now.
Yeah, I'd have to check. I got it right here, actually, in front of me. You talk about
Tara Reid.
Tara Reid.
Tara Reid.
Wow.
Tara Reid is known for something a lot more. The American Pie movies.
Yes. I'm looking at this right now. I got Jaws 3 and Jaws 4 in my half a stars. But the only reason I appreciate Jaws 4 is the thing is I grade those Jaws movies because Jaws, the original, one of my favorite movies of all time. It is top 6 or 7 easy. Put it on my grave. That is one of the best movies I've ever watched, and I love it. The fact that Jaws 4 has kind of full circles, the Brodies, the family from the first movie. The shark in the third movie has nothing to do with that, the Brodies. But the shark in the fourth movie follows the Brody's son, who is the character in the movie, in Jaws the Revenge, and Ellen Brody as well, who's back, who's the wife in the first one. The shark, they take a plane from like Cape Cod or wherever the hell they are to the Bahamas. And the shark follows them there.
Wow.
The shark follows them down the coastline when they take a plane. And the shark somehow knew and followed them there. After I saw that, before I finished it, got a half a star.
With Happy Gilmore 2, with 20 minutes to go, what star you think it's headed towards?
1.5. It's 1.5. 1.5.
Too generous.
1.5. A 3 out of 10. It's a 3.5 out of 10.
Sharks are kind of my thing. That's what I'm known for, my friend.
I got a lot of shark movies on here.
Sharks are awesome.
Got a lot of shark movies, and I got a couple Adam Sandlers, too. I got Pixels and Jack and Jill.
Oh, a lot of you're saying in half stars.
Half stars.
I thought you just meant you watch a lot of shark movies.
No, Pixels and Jack and Jill. Because you're speaking of the Happy Gilmore movies, I got 2 Adam Sandlers on there. I don't think I'll put a third on today.
You ever watch Shark Night?
Yes. I think that's a 1 star. I have seen that. Yes. That is a god-awful film.
Number 4.
All right. Let's jump around back to the NFL. Did you see this story out of Tampa Bay Buccaneers camp? 464-pound Buccaneers rookie defensive tackle out of Florida, Desmond Watson, has to run 10 laps around the field without stopping in 95-degree weather. The team told Watson that he cannot practice until he loses weight, and he is currently on the non-football injury list. What do you make of this story, Colin?
I don't look at this at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I partially blame the kid. I played Florida. This guy was a University of Florida student, and he played there for 4 years. And he was I think he was an undrafted free agent, so they don't lose a ton of capital on whether they play him or keep him or not. But Florida failed this kid. You cannot let a kid be on the roster. I think he's a defensive tackle. at 460 pounds for the entirety of his college career when he barely helps you at that weight. You know it's not NFL weight because nobody's that weight in the NFL. And you keep him around. You don't encourage him or try to get him to lose weight heading into draft season, heading into training camp. I blame his trainers. I blame the kid, but I also blame Florida. Florida's got to make sure that this kid's in better shape as a football player because it's unhealthy to be that weight anyway. And you're not going to be a productive NFL pro at that weight to begin with. Tampa Bay clearly has a problem with it. Tampa Bay doesn't lose anything whether they play him or not or keep him or not. I think they're doing him a service. I really do. I got to blame Florida here for not making sure this kid's in good shape. It's a disgrace that they let a kid be 464 pounds and play on the roster there.
Yeah, it's tough. But, I mean, if he was effective, he was effective. Like,
he's not effective because he's 464 pounds. I mean, you could lose.
But you can be effective because you're 464 pounds, right? You're clogging up the run lane to the middle.
My thinking, is there a 400-pound player in the NFL? Let's find that out. The heaviest player in the NFL. Christian, why don't you look that up for a second? I mean, is there anybody close to 400? This guy's 460 pounds. Is there anybody that's even near 4? I'd be surprised if there was one player that was in the 400 mark. I would say the heaviest is probably in the 360 range.
375 is who we got. Mike Jasper. Born in 86. I don't know if he's on a team right now. Was formerly on the Bills. 375 is when we're capping out. Oh, no. Mike Jasper is the head coach for Stetson football. How about that? Okay. So he's not in the NFL right now.
But he was that's the heaviest player in the history of the NFL?
Don't have that information. Google's hurting me here. All right. DeJuan Jones plays for the Browns.
That guy might be 400 pounds.
He is 375.
Oh, wow.
So that's where we're capping
and that guy's
out.
a huge player. And he's 375 pounds. This guy, 450 pounds?
464.
You can't be 464 pounds. There is no effective pro in the history of sports that's 464 pounds. I can't blame the Buccaneers for doing him a service here.
Wow.
I blame Florida.
Wow.
No capable player. If the kid is that big and that's why he's effective, he's not a Division I college player. He's not worth enough on your roster.
That's crazy. The heaviest player in the NFL will have to hold a 10-year-old child in order to weigh the same amount as this rookie that's trying to play for the Buccaneers.
That's a fascinating way to put it. You're right. That's a fascinating way. He's got to hold a 10-year-old child to match up to the weight of this guy. What's his name? Damon Watson, something like that. Yeah. Unbelievable. 464 pounds. I cannot blame the Buccaneers for this. This is Florida's fault.
It's 5-5.
That was the 5-5 presented by Flagler Credit Union. Appreciate Christian putting that together. We're taking a timeout here. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
It's a Twin Peaks Tuesday. Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge for eats, drinks, and scenic views. This is ESPN 106.3.
You told your friends you were hitting the gym. We both know you meant the drive-thru. No judgment here. Hi, it's Evan Cohen with some life advice. Just throw away the burger wrappers before you get home. Your secret is safe with us. ESPN 106.3. Leave a nugget in your pocket for later.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
Together, we're Anajar and Levine, and our team is a triple threat to big insurance companies.
Don't settle with the insurance companies for a fraction of what your case is worth. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Get your free case review right now. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
F45 Training, West Palm Beach offers functional group fitness classes reimagined. Sign up for F45 today and visit their West Palm Beach location. Featuring high-intensity group workouts that are fast, fun, and results-driven, F45 always has the right workout for you. Not to mention, it takes just 45 minutes. Visit F45training.com today to find a studio near you and officially join the F45 Training family. F45, team training, life-changing.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Trans World Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2025 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2025 Defender 110 P300S for just $889 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
The weather is heating up and summer is here. Stay cool with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can take advantage of 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in sports, not in your home. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the name you can trust since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today. Game day comfort starts now. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
No Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo with Christian Cat with you on Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. If you missed any of the program today, want to listen back, go listen in podcast format. Just go to Russo and Rizzo, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. Watch it back also on our socials at ESPN West Palm, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X. Christian Cat, you are with a bunch of buddies this weekend who, you know, the New York guys coming down to Miami. I want to have some fun over the weekend. You hit the casino?
I did hit the casino. They hit the clubs the night before I was able to hang out, and they gave a raving review of Famous Club 11, which I'm not a club guy, but the way they described it sounded pretty cool, where it's like Cirque du Soleil in the middle of the crowd.
Not club guy either. I don't think that'd do anything for me.
See, I think just a generic club wouldn't do anything for me, but like everything, the best of the best might draw my attention just for that. Like, okay, I don't
Bucket
like steak,
list.
but that's A5 Wagyu. I can appreciate it for what it is. And yeah, so that's what they did on Friday. We went to the casino on Saturday night. And whenever you have a group of people, the amount of people, when you increase the amount of time everything takes, where we were aiming to get to the casino at 10 o'clock. We had a pool day, had some fun, had some drinks, watched Happy Gilmore 2. Big waste of time. That set us back 2 hours. But everyone showers, everyone getting ready. We eventually, because of traffic and road work on 95, I believe, we eventually get to casino at midnight. So I'm already in kind of a touchy mood. I'm already a little bit sleepy. I'm past my bedtime.
You're cranky.
Go play some blackjack. And I am sitting directly next to the cousin of my friend who lives in Miami. Not my buddies that come to New York that I haven't seen in a couple of years. That reunion isn't happening at the moment. It's just me and it's just Jose. So Jose's to my right, and Jose likes blackjack. Jose registers that I also really like blackjack. We're getting into it, man. We're going crazy, slapping the table. It's a Saturday night at a casino, so the minimums are high, so the stakes are high.
People are into it. All right.
We're playing the table minimum, and it is still hurting the wallet if you do not come through and come in clutch. So I get down half of the amount of money that I brought. And I think, you know what? Let's take a big swing. Let's put the entire other half of the money on this one hand of blackjack. Bang. How about a couple of monkeys?
All right,
King, get back to even. I'm feeling good. So I go, all right, Jose, I'm out of here. I got back to even. That's what I'm looking for right now. Whew. I'm really feeling myself.
I'm here for the rush, not the
weight
money.
off the shoulders. Yeah. Maybe I'll walk around, play some craps if there's a low minimum table available. It was a crazy packed night at this casino, even in the off season in South Florida. He goes, come on, man. One more. Big hand. All in. He takes his entire stack, puts it all in on this one hand of blackjack.
Was he down or up at this point?
He was up.
Wow.
He was probably up 50%.
Oh
so
my God.
Take all the money that he brought, cut it in half, and add it to his stack. That's what he had right now. So let's say if he brought $100, he's up $50. He goes all in.
Oh my!
And he goes, "Come on, C-Cat, don't leave me hanging." So what do I do there? I go all in with him. I say, "Oh, really?
Did you regret it the second you put the chips down?
You're gonna make me do this?" No, I didn't really regret it the second I put the chips down. So the dealer deals the cards. He gets king, queen. That feels great for him. And I get 6-10. The worst hand in blackjack, going up against the 9. And of course, he wins his hand against the dealer's eventual 19. And I bust on my 16. I completely bust, as if you're watching the Wheel of Fortune. No, where you spin the wheel. Yes, I was bankrupt. That's what I'm looking for. And I lose everything that I brought with me to the casino on Saturday night.
Did you kick this guy in the head right after? I mean, geez, Jose. I mean, let's go double. I mean, throw me a 50. Let me stay alive here.
So I didn't get mad that he peer pressured me into going all in, or at least playing one more hand. I got mad because he was unapologetic and very celebratory on his win. I feel like you got to read the room there, that the guy you just fought tooth and nail to convince to go all in on a blackjack hand lost just so you would feel more comfortable with someone to your left, and you won. I feel like you got to kind of stifle in your celebration.
You're telling me that in the same situation, you just went all in and you just made a big winning on a blackjack table, and you convinced somebody to your right that to do the same, and they busted, and you don't know them that well, but you went all in first. You were the one who took the gamble and capitalized off of it. You're not celebrating at all?
No, I'm keeping it to myself. I'm giving a fist bump and a table pound. Nothing audible. Come on. Maybe one of those. Come on. And I would, because they're in the exact opposite situation there. You got to read the room, and you got to be a little bit cordial, because I respect everyone at the table. It could be someone that flew in from Shanghai who's across from me who maybe isn't having the luck I am. If I register that the whole table's losing and I'm winning, I'm not going to make a big fuss about it, because sure, they get nothing out of me winning. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, but blackjack's an individualist game. You're playing you and the dealer. Everybody else is sort of along for the ride. But, I mean, everybody's sort of playing on each other's hands. But that's your hand. You're not going to celebrate at all. I mean, granted, I'm not a gambler, so I don't necessarily, I'm not a gambler at a casino is what I should say. I don't play blackjack. I don't think I'm very good at it. So I don't know what I would do in this situation. But if you win a big hand, it's sort of free for all, no?
No.
What, am I supposed to mope because your hand stunk and mine was great?
You should have been rooting for me the whole time, and a little bit of your celebration should be tempered because the table didn't win. I'm a big blackjack is a team sport guy. Okay. I like all for one for all.
We're all trying to take down the house.
Yeah, we're trying to beat this guy. He's the enemy against the dealer. Is who we're all against the dealer. I think that makes it more fun. I think if we're all able to root for one another, maybe play the table minimum so it's not actually
that's how you make friends. That's how you make friends.
Yes.
At the table.
Some of the best people in the world that I've spoken to were at a blackjack table because we were all rooting for one another and having a good time. That's how you break the ice. I make more friends when I am playing table games than when I'm playing golf, which maybe it's because I've won in those moments and they have too, so you never forget, whereas I'm still trying to work on my golf game. But that's how I kind of liken it too. So
you're rarely at a casino, not at least a little, a couple drinks in you too.
True. Good point. I don't drink as much golfing as a lot of people do choose to do. But I think the PSA is out there, folks. If you're winning at a blackjack table and you see that everyone else is in sore spirits, don't go overboard. Be a little nice.
I agree with the idea of don't go overboard, but I don't know if I agree with the idea that this person should not act like, business as usual. Carry on. If you win, and this is all in I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a random hand. I'm talking about all in. What if he doesn't celebrate and I understand it, you're playing high, if anything, it makes it a little bit more awkward. No? Everybody's looking at you thinking this guy just screwed the pooch for everybody else. We were all excited to high five and chest bump.
Oh, so I was holding everyone back.
And now this guy comes in and screwed the pooch. And now we got to sit here and mope with him. That's what you flip it for a second, Christian. This guy could celebrate.
Oh.
Instead of being happy for a fellow comrade, he's got to dial back his feelings because your hand stunk.
So you're mad because I'm the guy who shows up to the work happy hour who breaks the news that his dog just died. And you're like, kind of wish Seacat didn't show up. That kind of brought down the excitement.
Yeah. Why is he doing that? He didn't do that.
But he coerced me and peer pressured me
into
making this big selection.
That's where I think that's where, because of that.
Because he bears some of the responsibility. If he was not there, I would have gone all in.
Throw you a 50. That's what you do. Throw you a 50. Don't worry about it. Appreciate it. I made you do that. I would feel slightly responsible. If I just won $300 on the table, here's a 50.
All right.
That would make you feel better.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it would be kind of a sad charity case. Like $50 is $50. Maybe just like on the table right there.
$50, you walk away and go cash it in.
I would not do that.
Like an
that would be very sad.
That would be sad.
You got to play the $50 that you're given in consolation.
You got to play it, and then you got to play it, and then when you lose it, then you both feel like you lost something.
So I don't like the side bets. I don't know the last time they've played blackjack before. Have you played blackjack on the table before?
Yes. Occasionally, it's been it's at least been a year and a half.
So the side bets that you can play? So there is like, if you make a poker hand with the dealer that is a royal flush, you hit the jackpot. Or if you get sevens, you get a jackpot. Right. I don't play those. Little inside scoop. Those are not in favor of the player. It's like playing a slot machine. Like the odds are not even close to your odds of winning playing just basic blackjack. So I don't play them. The guy to my left, this is about 2 years ago at Atlantic City, loved the side bets, and he wasn't winning them. So we were just kind of making conversation. And I go to him, I had a genius idea. I go, how about you play my side bets? You take your $5 chips that you're putting on your blackjack hand and you just put them on mine. He started winning. Hand over fist winning. We're talking about 10 times bets. We're talking about 20 times bets on these side bets on blackjack hands. And he was winning a lot. He was tossing me chips left and right.
All right.
He was very gracious of the idea that I bestowed upon him of him not playing the side bets on his blackjack hand, but I'm playing on my blackjack hand. That felt pretty good.
See, there's the camaraderie you're looking for.
Right, it's a team sport.
That's the team sport you're looking for. When you're kind of dialed in on your own little game, I don't necessarily know if I agree with that because I've been at some blackjack. I haven't had, spent an hour at a blackjack table and had a ball with everybody. I'm usually in and out pretty quick because I'm not that good at the game, and everybody's sort of in their own spot. But from that, if you're looking for that, that's how you team up. You team up, you do the side bets together, and you have some fun in that regard. That's the way to do it. So you had a good time there. All right, geez, but. If I'm Jose in this situation who coerced you to come back and play after you just went broke even and you lost all your money and after he goes all in and wins, I'd toss you at 20. I'm going lower in price. I'd toss you at 20.
I've also
depending how much I want.
Realized there is the most obvious friends that go to a casino together trope. If you get separated and you're playing at a table, if your friend texts you, WYA, where you at, it means that friend just ran out of money and they want to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Because being in a casino when you have no money.
Too. That's bad mojo, too. That's bad mojo. Hey, stay away from me. You're cold as ice. Get away from me.
Exactly. And once they lose, they're kind of in a sore mood. They want to leave as soon as possible. I told you, we got there at midnight. I'm tired.
What time did you get out of there?
I think we walked out of there like at 1:45.
Wow, okay.
It's a peaceful drive. I told you what I listened to, Mad Dog Unleashed featuring Colin Russo. I thought I was going to make it from Hollywood to West Palm. It didn't get me halfway.
Hollywood to 2 exits down.
I was looking forward to keep me awake with that. And no, I had to turn to Apple Music for the remainder of the drive.
At least those 8 minutes were the most alert 8 minutes of the entire car ride.
At least you got on stage before it rained. Apparently, the rain came later on that night.
For Mike Babchak, who hosts mornings with the DA show with Babchak on Mad Dog Radio. And he comes on, and he comes to me right after, and he's smoking a cigar, and he goes, "My luck." I get on, and it immediately starts pouring rain at Bar A. And because it was after Adam Shine went, and Shine got through a whole show with no rain. And then my dad had got through his show with no rain. And then Babchak comes on, and Babchak's, a loosey-goosey personality. And it was kind of funny. It almost suits him that he got rained out because he had some fun with it on top of it. So he didn't necessarily get too demoralized about that. But I'm glad I entertained you for about 8 minutes. I'm glad I got you for 8 minutes.
Kept me awake. That was the important thing. Because, listen, road hypnotism and falling asleep at the wheel is a real thing. Thankfully, I drank earlier in the day. No drinking, obviously, at the casino. And I was stone cold sober when I walked into those air-conditioned halls. But yeah, just the sun wears you down, and the awful movie that was Happy Gilmore 2 wore me down.
You had a bad day. You had a bad day.
But 8 minutes of Colin Russo on Mad Dog kept me awake.
You're welcome. Christian Cat, Colin Russo. We close out the program next on a Tuesday edition of the program. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit one checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, proud partner of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Canes fans, get ready for a huge season at home. Hurricanes football has 8 home games, including 4 in the first month. It all starts with the home opener on Sunday, August 31st at 7:30 as the Canes take on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Then it's a Saturday night game against Bethune-Cookman, an in-state clash against USF, and a showdown with the Florida Gators, all at home. Don't miss a moment. Get your tickets now at MiamiHurricanes.com/football tickets and go Canes.
It's Theo Dorsey, and I'm feeling hot, hot, hot. Temperatures are up, but your water shouldn't be full of mystery floaties. Culligan's got your back with water testing and reverse osmosis systems to keep things clean, cool, and crisp this summer. And get this, you can try it for just $10 a month. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and stop drinking who knows what. Visit Culligan.com today to schedule your free water test.
Hey, Culligan man!
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
NFL training camp is really in the thick of it at the moment. And I was a doubter at first, but I'm very in tune with what's going on in Jacksonville and Jaguars training camp. And one thing I will say, and I was happy that they drafted him. I'm happy that they traded up, but I did have my doubts about his ability to play both ways. Is Travis Hunter is doing about, I would say maybe 60-40 or 50-50 offense-defense. And he has been making a play or two, at least big plays or two, offensively one day. He was offense today. And then yesterday he was defense, and he makes a couple plays. And the day before he was offense, he makes a couple plays. He's going to play both ways on Friday during a scrimmage. I was a doubt at first. I don't think this is telling me that he could do this for 17 weeks. But I am impressed with not only the Jaguars' willingness to let him go both ways, but for his ability to at least be around the football on both of those senses. So I'm actually, from what I've heard and read from the Jaguars beat writing columns, is that he has done a good job both ways.
Theo made a good point on Twitter yesterday or the day before, I forget what, and it was quote tweeting a video of Travis Hunter with an interception playing on defense. And he said he knows the plays. Like he knows the offensive playbook of the Jacksonville Jaguars, so maybe it helps him out a little bit. Do the Jacksonville Jaguars run like their normal offense against their normal defense, or do they simulate opposing offenses when the defensive point, A's are on the field?
They're running reps. These are game plays that they are running.
Just offense versus defense, both playbooks against one another.
He might know the lineups and the coverages, but I mean, unless he is truly a savant and he could place, what the slot receiver is doing, and then he could all of a sudden know what everything's going on at once as a rookie. I mean, I think it helps, but I don't think he hears the plays. I think they're in a huddle talking about the plays.
But like, if you're a slot receiver and you see the slot receiver,
he's got a trained eye. He's got a trained eye. He does have a trained eye. That I agree with.
You know that scheme. You know how this mesh route will happen because you are a part of that mesh route that will happen. It's just a little bit easier to pick them off. I'm not saying this is happening. I'm asking whether it is or not.
I can't say for sure. I don't think so as a rookie, but I do think he has incredible ball instincts. And that is due to his ability as an offensive player. He knows how receivers are going to operate when the ball's in flight, when the ball's in air. He knows how receivers are going to make a break on the ball. And he almost has that innate ability to sort of play off of that and not play like a receiver, but play like a corner who knows how to play receiver. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, I'm seeing when I did that lookup on average draft position in terms of fantasy football, Travis Hunter's like 60. Like, would you feel comfortable drafting Travis Hunter for your fantasy football team offensively?
I'd make a prediction today that he will be a more effective offensive player this year than a more effective defensive player.
So
I would say he will be on the field 80% of the time for offense. 85% of the time. Easy. So he will be involved.
Like a starting wide receiver for a fantasy team. Someone that will have a respectable stat line at the end of the season.
Now, he's not the number one receiver on that team. I don't know how desperate you are for a second receiver on a middling team in the NFL you don't know how prolific their passing offense is going to be. But one thing I do know is that he will be on the field consistently. He will be a favorite of Trevor Lawrence. They got rid of Christian Kirk. They got rid of Evan Engram. They got Brian Thomas sitting there. But he will be utilized. There's a reason they got rid of those sort of namesakes that have been around Trevor Lawrence for the last 3-4 years. Travis Hunter, in my opinion, will be utilized more offensively than defensively in that year one. I think he will be used situationally in year one defensively. But if he plays both ways the whole time, geez. I was a doubter at first. But remains to be seen. We'll see how that operates week one into the preseason. But I'm sitting here saying that if you're looking for an offensive value, I do think Travis Hunter would be well worth the time. At least a flyer.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas first. Brian Thomas first. But if you're going to go after somebody, he will be utilized, and he will be a good red zone target. He's very sad, especially in the red zone. He's a good scorer. Not the deep threat, but he's good yard after catch. He's going to be he's going to have a lot of he's going to have 7-8 receptions a game. Could. If he's going to be that sort of slot mesh underneath yard after catch type of player, I would say better offensively than defensively year one.
Now, you're a Jaguars fan. Are you a jersey guy? Do you own jerseys?
I have a Lawrence jersey. I have a Bortles jersey. I have a Fournette jersey.
What would Travis Hunter have to do to get you a jersey?
He gets a touchdown and an interception in the same game. Not a pick six. I will get a jersey.
All right.
There's a line. There's my mark. You did it for Colorado. Can you do it for the Jacksonville Jaguars? That's Christian Cat, Colin Russo, Russo and Rizzo saying so long on ESPN 106.3.
We want to see you in a Greenway Kia. Celebrate big during the Freedom Sale at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Get incentives up to